All right. Another week, another Centre Circle podcast. We've got a full house today. I'm joined by Adrian, Isaac, and Keith. How you doing, boys?
Very good.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I bet you two are.
Good win today. Little milestone for us, you know.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. All right. Lovely jubbly. Of course, we have reached 100 episodes. Yeah, I don't know. Now it's here. I'm just like, oh, okay. But it's 100 episodes is a lot of episodes.
Yeah, man, we should be proud, man.
Yeah, I know. It's been an interesting couple of years, man. And what started is Isaac's idea in a WhatsApp group. Well, everyone had the idea, but Isaac's the one that actually made it happen and said, right, stop talking about it. Made another WhatsApp group. And here we are 100 episodes later. So yeah, thanks to all the guests. Thanks to all you guys, current and former members of the pod. You know, Mark, Daz, T. Everyone's played their part. Thanks for all the guests giving their time to come down. And yeah, this is to another 500.
Yeah, let's do it.
Another 500. And in typical fashion, we are we're going to run through the Premiership games. It's getting to the end of the season now. People are starting to either do very well or just act mad. I don't understand what's going on in some of these games. Yeah. Defenders seem to have lost their mind this weekend. So fresh off the press, we will... Isaac's doing his interior designing. Fresh off the press, we'll look at the Newcastle versus Man United game. Amarim and his team giving us more things to talk about. Wolves at home to Spurs and show rattles on. Manchester City at home to Palace, which, you know, after Kevin De Bruyne announcing that he will be leaving City at the end of the season, he came out and gave us a vintage performance. Forest losing at home to Everton. At that point, you'll see Adrian get animated. We'll run up the rest of the games. Plus, of course, there's been other news this week. Mo Salah's finally signed his new contract. We all know Trent's leaving. We're just waiting for Van Dijk's. Should Liverpool have given him another 2-year contract? Discuss. Isaac will have lots to say on that one. Arsenal are got the second leg of the quarter-final against Real Madrid after Declan Rice stole the show this week at the Emirates. Can Arsenal progress through, or is the power of the Bernabeu gonna overcome the young players? And yeah, that's it. So first things first, Newcastle 4, Manchester United 1. Key.
Eddie Howe.
It's true.
I know he wasn't there today.
It's true.
Didn't get well soon, Eddie Howe and that. But
Yeah.
I there were times last season I had a few doubts about him. But looking back, I think I might have been a little bit too harsh because obviously it was his first foray into the top level of European football and trying to juggle that with maintaining a Premier League stance. I might have been a bit too harsh on him.
Sorry, I'm just making sure. This is Adrian. You see, when someone is wrong and they reflect and they realize this is what it sounds and looks like, bro. It's not hard.
Accountability.
See? He's not in pain.
Yeah.
You know, he's not in pain. He's
hear
not
that.
sweating.
I hear that.
So it's possible. It's easy. Okay, we'll come to you in a second.
We can come to me.
Yeah, they've had a few shaky moments this season.
Mm.
Like you even said, you're not sure if Newcastle can sustain. But in the run up to the League Cup final, form was good. Won the League Cup final, and they've just been on a steady journey since. And like, there's a lot of talk about their midfield being the best midfield in the league. I don't think they're the best. I think they're the most hardworking, consistent, hardworking free. And I think that is what gets them over the line a lot. But yeah, today they were good, man. Like Harvey Barnes hasn't been in the first team that much, but it seems that red card for Anthony Gordon leading up into the final has kind of shot himself in the foot a little bit because Barnes has come in doing a job. Murphy's doing what he's been doing all season. Isak, even though he didn't score today, got a very good assist.
I know.
And even in their defence, like Hall's been injured, Livermento's come in, playing well. Dan Burn, again, another one. Hold my hands up. Playing well.
You were on Dan Burn's neck, bro.
Yeah.
For a long time.
Very true. And like, yeah, even like Shah's come back into the team, doing well. It's just he's got a unit there. Like we said, they haven't got many superstars, but the team that Hal's put together,
the ethos,
like he's built a good squad.
Very true.
Yeah,
Very true.
Vince?
Yeah.
You had reservations about Eddie Howe. You felt like he was making safe signings. You felt like his signings that he and the director of football at the time were making wasn't going to get Newcastle to where they want to get to. So as we sit here, Newcastle have a game in hand. If they win that game in hand, they'll be third. Looking at probably their second Champions League season. They'd won a trophy. Do you still feel like, the signings they were making were safe?
I think it was within their financial...
That's not what I asked you.
I'm giving you an answer, right?
That's not what I asked you.
So I'm giving you an answer.
Do you still think this? No, you can't. Do you still think the signings that they made were safe and were not going to get them to where they wanted to get to?
Yeah. At the time, some of them were. So Woods, at the time, was to keep them up.
Yeah, and he did that, and then he shipped him on.
Hold on, and there you go.
Yeah, okay.
Who else is there? Burns. We know Burns is solid.
He just got his first England call-up, mate.
Yeah, but is he anything more than just a solid?
Well, he must be part of the reason that they are where they are.
So he plays his part, but I think it's more down to the culture and the ethos that Howe has implemented.
So when he controls the ball, that's all culture and ethos.
No, but how hard they work. So like what Keith was mentioning, they're not the best midfield if you're looking at the midfield, but their work ethic is what get them through. They're a very powerful team. So quite a few of their wins is based on them overpowering a team with their height, their physicality, and etc. So he's got a kind of a culture, an ideology that he's working with, and that's really worked for them.
Hazard, please.
You want to just unpack that?
Yeah,
that point.
Yeah. Most of their wins,
overpowering. And
so it's a very powerful team, very tall, very physical.
Yeah,
it's a powerful team.
Most of their wins come from them overpowering teams.
Yeah. Being more powerful than the team, stronger, more athletic.
Can you give me an example?
The win against Arsenal.
I knew you were going to say that. But I can't think of any others where that's their...
No, I'm not saying they don't play football.
And that was more structure and them doing
and I'll
the press
be real
well.
with you, because the way Isaac was moving, that was nothing to do with physicality and
power
overpowering, because he was running circles around the defense.
They've got technical players. I'm not disputing that. I haven't said they haven't got technical players.
I mean, it's kind of like you're diminishing that point.
No. But they got their players. So anyway, like I said, for me, it's a very powerful team, very tall, and that's what they go work with. That's their focus.
You still haven't answered my question.
So what's your question? Go and say it again.
No, you said at the time that the signings were safe and it was not going to help Newcastle get to where they wanted to get to. They have won a trophy and are looking very likely to qualify for the Champions League this season. So you were wrong.
No.
How are you not wrong?
I was wrong.
All right, cool. Why is that so difficult?
I love it. I was wrong. I think...
By the way, I was wrong with you as well.
Yeah.
I was wrong as well.
No, we were wrong. I think it's two things, right? It's one of the things of like, now what's the next stage for them? And we have to look at that. What does that look like? The next step for next season. Ultimately.
You know
what they have, they've got a very good foundation. I think he's got a very good culture in the team at the moment.
He's not bought any superstars.
Yeah.
And the criticism I had of that team, I think he's fixed them with little things. So I think even when I was, at the time when I was saying, look, I think they're coming to a bit at the end of the road. That was around the time Tonali was out as well. So he's come back and he's balanced out the two wrestlers, Bruno and Joe. Yeah, so he's the baller in the team. I'm not saying those two can't kick ball.
Yeah,
but you got a sliding scale. You got Joe Linton, that heavyweight boxer. Then you've got Bruno that can play some ball.
Disrupts.
Yeah, and he was on some serious housery today. Did you see what he was saying? I'm the real Bruno. Did you see that?
After he scored.
I love that. I'm not gonna lie. And then you've got Tonali, who's just, he's what we thought Aquilani was going to be before the injuries, right? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this is the team. I think sometimes people over-egg the influence of the manager, but when you look at that collection of players, even I don't want to say even, but again, he's the twilight of his career. Trippier is contributing well. As you mentioned, Dan Burn,
Sure.
He bought Gordon, then he bought Barnes, and I was like, they're both a bit middle of the. Everyone's doing well. Do you know what I mean? Shaw has been an ever present. Botman, if it wasn't for his injuries, he, good signing. So,
do you know what I like about this team? Do you remember what Arsene Wenger always used to say about the 4-4-2? He said that's his favourite formation. And I'm not saying, I know Newcastle don't play 4-4-2, but the reason why it was his favourite formation is because the core, most of your players are down the middle.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So your core of your team, the strongest players, should be your 2 centre-backs, your 2 midfielders, your 2 strikers, right? And then obviously your wingers will provide your flair and speed and pace, etc.
And he's kind of basically done the same thing.
If you look at Newcastle's setup, their 2 centre-backs
Mm-hmm.
are usually very strong, whether it be at Botman, Shaw, Burn, whoever's in there, Kraft, whoever.
Yeah.
Then you look at their 3 midfielders, Joelinton, Bruno, Tonali, and then you look at Isak up top. That core of that team is very solid.
Yeah.
And then what
Gordon,
complements
Murphy,
that? Gordon, Murphy, Hall,
Barnes.
and Trippier, or Barnes, whoever it may be.
Yeah.
So he's built a very good core, and I think that probably is what Adrian was trying to say. But love you, man. But they're with that foundation, they've gone on to do very well so far. So they've done well to get into the Champions League.
Yeah.
Like you said, okay, it was now a new experience of juggling the Champions League with the Premier League. I don't think they had the squad depth. They couldn't really necessarily go out into the market and spend. That's a learning year, right?
Yeah.
We go again this year. We get the Champions League, which, as you said, looks like they will do. It's now, what will they do come summer? Because ideally, they want to just go out into the market and
I was just
get
about to ask you what's next year. Yeah, so yeah.
to bolster their squad. But the way PSR is set up, they will have to sell.
I think they'll be okay.
I think they're going to be okay.
I think they'll have to sell maybe 1 or 2
But
because
no.
to get because you have to think of the kind of caliber of player they're going to want to bring in.
But I think
They
because they
don't have superstar. Well, they do have a superstar in Isak.
Yeah, but they didn't
haven't-
buy him a superstar. Yeah, yeah.
They
He became
did.
one
They
there.
haven't
Yeah.
bought superstars,
Yeah.
but ideally, you're going to want to bring in a player that's at a certain level.
True.
Right.
But I think 2 things to your point. I think they were, if I remember correctly, they were pretty frugal in the transfer in the last
Because
year.
they couldn't spend.
Yeah,
But
And they
and
didn't
remember
want
it's
to
a 3-year
sell.
rolling. Yeah. So I actually think this summer and next summer, they should be okay. They're
and
going to
everyone
have
passed it this year.
Hmm?
Everyone passed the PSR, right?
Yeah, and they're changing it a little bit. And they're going to have Champions League revenue next year.
Mhm.
But I agree with you. But even not just from a PSR point of view, I just think from the type of squad Eddie Howe has built, etc., I don't think he's going to do anything crazy.
Yeah, I don't
But
think
he's going to
be
go and
crazy.
get someone and say, look, you're meant to be next, or you should have done better. Come here and we'll sort that. Like, this is going to sound crazy, but even someone like, what's the guy's name at Leon Cherky? What's his name?
Ryan Cherky.
Ryan
Yeah.
Cherky. Someone like that. He's not going to be crazy expensive, but everyone is saying he's ready
And
to step up.
Yeah.
And then the one that we've all kind of been discussing loosely is the lap. If his release clause is 30 mil,
Mate, I'd take
and
him
then
for
remember
30
Callum Wilson, he can't stay fit. You can't go wrong with that.
If you're the lap, do you go to Newcastle now?
100%.
Yeah.
So you're going to go from playing every week without fail
No, but I think it's
But-
to...
To a team that's in the Champions League.
Yeah.
No, I get that, but you're not playing.
But the rotations,
I think
I think the rotation will be enough to get minutes
Okay,
to
fair.
still put you in the
Because
shop
you're
window.
exactly. Was it? How many group games is 10 group games in the Champions League?
Yeah.
Right?
8, sorry.
8.
8 group games. And then you got FA Cup, League
Okay,
Cup.
fair,
Cup.
fair. And Callum Wilson, you say gets
Injuries.
got injured,
Yeah.
injured. Who's the other striker?
No, that's it.
Isak and Callum Wilson.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Gordon was playing down the middle
Yeah.
when they were both injured. Yeah, fair. Okay.
And I
Okay,
think
fair.
there's some like I think how Newcastle and their infrastructure, they look for like what you're saying. The ones that are like at the tipping point, their career can go either way, and they're giving them the platform to kind of rebuild and be
I
solid.
think they need to replace Trippier. as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need a right-sided
I think they need,
Livramento, basically.
I think they need another centre back because we don't know what Botman's going to be.
Botman's injury record is not great.
Mm.
He's good though.
He's
Yeah.
But
He's
to
quality.
be fair, Dan Burns 32, 33.
Yeah, Dan
so
Burns.
you can't continue
Yeah.
that level for too much longer.
And it's Champions League time now. Right.
I think they would have learned that they need a deeper squad.
Yeah.
And it's not just about having bodies. They need people that are
That can do the
actually
job.
Quality that can come in.
going to come in and contribute.
And that's what's helped them in the Prem, right? Murphy's come in, and I'm not ready to apologise yet, but he's come in and
It's been
done his
effective.
thing.
No, it's effective.
No, man, not yet. No, end of the season.
What does he need to do to garner your?
Look, I'm in my agent bag right now, and I will admit I was wrong when I'm ready. End of the season. Even ex-Arsenal Willock, he's come on and done his bit as well. So but I think to your point, I think winning Champions League, no disrespect to those guys, but you know, I think attacking wise, I think Harvey Barnes can do a thing. I think Gordon is there, etc. Get another striker. I think midfield and defense there'll be one or two reinforcements. But yeah, salute to Eddie Howe. Manchester United. Don't want to talk too long about them. If you listen to us, we're going to say the same thing we've said every week for however long. But I think today, I haven't watched them for 90 minutes for a long time. And they're as bad as I've seen it.
There's something in the air. I
the
genuinely...
mistakes.
Do you remember when, was it Yaya Toure that put the curse on Pep?
Well, after he didn't get a birthday cake. Yeah.
I'm telling you now, there is something in the air. Is it Carrington or whatever?
Yeah.
There's something in the air because it's one thing if Onana is having a madness in goal, right? But if you're on the sidelines, you're sitting there thinking, I can't wait to get in there and take that spot, right?
Yep.
Because you don't lose. What did they say? You don't lose your spot to injury, right? But if you're performing well, if not performing well, you can expect that you're going to lose your spot. If you're a reserve goalkeeper, you want to come in. This is his chance. This is Bayinder's chance to come in and be like, look, I don't know about him, but I'm ready.
Yep.
And the bar to surpass wasn't even high.
Exactly. The bar is low.
Yep. And then he thinks he's Kevin De Bruyne and he's chipping balls.
Bro,
into the...
I couldn't believe what I'm watching. He looked just as bad, if not worse.
And it's those moments that I feel sorry for Amorim. I'll be honest. Like, that is not an Amorim problem.
But I think...
That is a foolishness.
That is something...
Ineptitude.
Oh,
but I think we've got to go back to his interview where he said, look, we're going to go through some bad times. He said that. He said, we're going to go through some bad times.
This is really bad.
Really bad. But this was so.
Well, this is the guy that sees him every day in training.
So
now I reflect. He
said it. We're going to go through some. And you also he rested a few players as well.
Yeah,
in this game.
Yeah.
And then and same with the new owner, Jim Ratcliffe. He said it. But he said we hadn't had the infrastructure to move the team forward. So I think we're going to see more of this before we see them moving forward, to be fair.
I mean, well, look, let's just have a very, very quick run through of some of the signings, right? We've got Anthony. He's on loan at Betis. Doing very well. He cost £85 million. Ooh. We've got Rasmus Højlund, who from Atalanta, £72 million, started on the bench today. He's not doing very well, in my opinion. You've got Casemiro, signed from Real Madrid, 70 million quid. I would say he has been okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh?
Casemiro.
Yeah. He's been okay.
I think over the period.
Well.
Yeah, I think over the period.
He's
been okay.
But it's a bad investment.
Yeah, and most of that 70 million you are paying for 5 times winner. Was he a 5 or 4 times winner Champions League?
5.
Lenny Euro, young player.
Yeah, jury's out.
Okay.
I don't think he's done enough yet to
£58 million
to give a solid in that.
Lisandro Martinez, the butcher, spends more time on the physio table than he does in the pitch. But he's been.
I think he's been okay.
I think he's been not a hit, but not a miss.
Yeah.
He was £56 million. Ugarte, I'm not saying a word. I am not saying
his
anything.
assist was good today.
Everyone tells me I'm this and that. £50 million. I
don't see it.
Yeah.
Bruv, I think his boots are made of treacle. I swear. I don't understand. He moves at 0.25 speed. It's mad. Anyway, Onana, let's just move on. Delete.
He's had more bozo moments than not, but
it's interesting. This is his third
big club.
Yeah, this is his third move since that amazing Ajax season.
Yeah.
He's not lit it up anywhere. Didn't do well at
Juventus.
Didn't do well at
either
Bayern.
club. What was it? Juve, Bayern, or
and then now at United. Okay, Joshua Zirkzee. Listen, there was a counter attack today. Yeah, can't remember what minute it was. He was ahead of the 2 Newcastle players when the counter attack started. Listen, by the time he passed that ball, they had passed him.
A reset.
He looked like he was running with a handbrake on. I couldn't believe it. Like
Yeah,
the
he got
lack of
fast.
pace.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It was unreal. I
I
don't
was
want to
saying
hear
Ericsson's faster than him.
Listen, I don't know. Dan Burn might be faster than him.
He's shown glimpses in the last month though.
This
Like,
is it.
yeah.
I think in his whole time he's shown glimpses.
Yeah.
Not being funny, Paolo One Chop show glimpses.
Wow.
Fair enough.
I mean,
Wow.
like,
Well, when you put it like that,
he moved to Saliba though.
But that's moments, isn't it? Like, everyone's gonna have their day, right?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure he is
What they need.
what they need. And unfortunately, the type of team that plays the football that would make him look good, they're not picking him up right now.
I agree with that. I don't think he's bad. I don't think he's a bad player.
But he can't play the team that's playing the counter.
I just don't think United.
They've got to be a
is good for him.
possession-based team.
Got to be
Do
a
you think?
possession-based team.
All right, I don't think United's good for him, but do you think he'd be good enough in another team? Let's say
I
put him
think
in
so.
Palace.
Another Prem team.
Yeah, another
Yeah.
Prem team.
I'm not sure about Palace. It's
I
got
think-
to
I'm
be a
just picking a
possession-based
team
team.
out of the-
I
Possession-based
think
team.
he's a possession-based team, but most of the possession-based teams, the level of work rate you need, Iraola wouldn't have him at Bournemouth. The way Semenyo and the Clive and those guys have to work, you don't
He
get
might
that
get
team.
him working. Might get him working.
Maybe,
Possibly.
but he's not helping himself. Don't get me wrong, but the way that team plays doesn't make him look good at all. Mazraoui, I think he's been all right. How much did he cost?
He's
70
cheap.
million.
He was
Oh,
cheap.
fair
He was
enough.
cheap. He was
He's doing
cheap.
well. He's a hit. Malacia, I think he's in witness protection. I don't know where. I've not seen him.
No, and he got a
No,
loan.
he's
He
gone,
got back-
he's
he
on
got
loan.
PSV.
Oh, he's
He's
on
gone
loan.
back to PSV.
Oh,
he's on loan, he's on loan, he's on loan.
Yeah, he went back to PSV. Yeah.
And then Christian Eriksen was a free. Cool. So look, to your point, Amorim has not had the best tools to work with, but it's like a rot. It's something that's a rot has set in.
Something is in the air.
But-
Something is in.
But how did they turn this around? Because this isn't just this is 2 years. I look at this team and say, you're gonna need 3 or 4 windows to fix this.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just need time. Like that's it.
No, but does he need to? Do we need to see basically a different 11 before this team is performing at the required level for Manchester
Yeah.
United?
And
Yeah,
and
pretty
also to say time is one thing, but like if you look at Liverpool's rebuild when FSG came in and before Klopp, like when Klopp came in, you could see a clear kind of, all right, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna sell certain players and we're gonna bring a certain caliber of player in and we're gonna just rebuild and get back in.
But
Now, don't get me wrong,
But that
getting
took
a
time
champ.
as well, though.
Yeah, of course, but there was a clear direction in which,
Yeah.
in which
And your
we're going.
time was a different time. Yeah, there was cup finals and
yeah.
Yeah, we
You were-
You had a
you
solid
gambled,
foundation.
13th in the
You
league
had a
and all them
decent
things.
foundation.
Yeah,
You had a
No,
decent
but
foundation.
we had to the owners come in and
Yeah,
it
the
was a
way
clear
it was done.
exactly. To say time is, that's what I'm saying. To say time is one thing.
yeah, but you got to do
But-
it properly.
There has to be a direction. I
Yeah.
don't see a direction.
And
But
Ratcliffe
no.
and Co, for me, have already made massive mistakes. Right?
Yeah, I think they'll do that as
The Ten Hag thing, giving him a contract and fire him.
But he explained why they
Dan,
gave him
whatever,
a contract, though.
blah, blah, blah.
He explained why they gave him another contract. One, it was a cup. But 2, they said he hadn't had the infrastructure support of all the management team
Yeah.
to make decisions as
Yeah, but
on
you
the
fired
club.
him 6 months later.
Yeah, but then they realised he weren't good enough. But they were saying, let's see what he's like with this team. I'm just
No,
saying.
but,
But he- but he was-
but that speaks to John's point
You
about
could have told
mistakes
them
being
that
made.
before
Yeah.
he got before
Because he
gave
did say
him the
it was an emotional decision
Yeah,
to
yeah.
keep
Exactly.
him
So
in
he's
it.
a-
So
he's
like,
been- he's
yeah.
been- he's
And
been
those
proper-
kind of decisions should not be based on emotion.
And then
that decision cost the club 10 million quid.
And then the Dan Ashworth situation, spending all that time courting him publicly to then get him in and then sack him 6
That
months
cost him
later.
another half a million. So anyway, Newcastle, well done. Man United. Anyway, Wolves 4, Spurs 2, another team that just could not sort themselves out. I mean, we were talking off mic saying, look, the Wolves manager, his name escapes me at the moment. Pereira has done. I think he's done a great job. I think he's done a great job.
Yeah.
You know, when he came in, Wolves were in the relegation zone, and now, you know, Wolves are 14 points from relegation. We need to talk about this gap between the relegation zone and 17th. By the way, we're going to talk about there's 14 points
It's big.
between 18th and 17th place.
But that again, but
What?
okay, that's another. We'll come on to
Yeah,
that.
we'll
But
come
that's
on
a
to that.
separate conversation.
But for Wolves, they've won 4 out of the last 5. Whereas Spurs have now lost 3 out of the last 5, 1-1 and drawn 1.
They've lost 17 league games.
I was coming to that stat. 17 league games out of 32. I mean, if I look in terms of losses, the only teams that have lost more games than Spurs are in the relegation zone.
Yeah.
Ipswich have lost 2 more games. You know, and yeah, fine. You could argue, but come on, that is poor. They've drawn 4, won 11. But to lose 17 games, I think it's criminal. Now, he's going to talk about his injury record, etc. But it's just not good enough.
But he's had the players back, and
Not much has changed.
this is it. Like, there hasn't been any upturn. Like, you look at the signings that he made in January, and like I know Tell scored today, but hasn't really produced magic. I know the drop-off of Son had affected the team, but you'd want players like Maddison, who a lot of people wax lyrical about. He's been pretty much non-existent this season. Like, he hasn't done enough to help them when they're in dire situations. And I think it's the same with Man United. Like, I know they're both vying for the Champions League, for the Europa League. I think if either of those 2 clubs win it, it does wonders for the manager. But the club itself, I think it still sets them back.
Yeah.
Because neither of them are ready for Champions League football.
At all.
Yeah.
At all. I mean, he did rotate a little bit. You know, as you say, Tell started, Johnson started on the right. Maddison did start, Basuma, Sark. So he rotated a little bit, but there's still a lot of players I'd expect him. I mean, Ben Davis started,
But he's resting,
Archie
right?
Gray on the right. So I would expect certain players to be back for the Europa League game. That's the target.
I think from it though, there's been a silver lining, which is the Bergvale's ability.
Okay.
He's actually like, he doesn't look great initially, and then when you see him play, you're like, no, actually,
That's not enough of a silver lining. For me.
but for me, this is what you can start
So that's
building
one.
around.
Gone.
Archie Gray,
Fair. 2.
Jed Spence, because
True.
from the injuries,
Yeah.
and now people crying that he should have been in the England squad based on his performance up until that.
I'm not going to lie, as a Spurs fan, I don't want to hear that. I don't want. No, but
I mean,
my
the
club's
Spurs
in dire
fans we
straits.
know,
My club's in
they're
dire
not-
straits,
yeah.
and you're not against you,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying, like, my club's in dire straits. We're struggling. The manager's lashing out in the public, and you're telling me about, oh yeah, well, 1 or 2 players are having good. Bro, I don't care about that. How are we going to correct this?
But you know what a Spurs fan said to me, said in the group today? Said if they don't win on Thursday, they want him fired and he's got to make his own way back from the game. I should laugh. But on a serious note, is there any bail we can shoot Ange?
No.
No,
At this
no.
point, none.
So even the injuries,
No.
No.
I think
because the
that-
squad was already. We've had this conversation this week. I think the squad was already weak. I don't think they've made signings, but I don't think they've made good signings.
The
To your
squad-
point about Man United, not as bad, but they've not made good signings. in
No,
my opinion.
I agree. And
So then when that squad is then hit,
but then here's what he did. Here's where I have no sympathy for him,
Go on.
because when your squad got hit, you still didn't make
Any adjustments?
adjustments.
Yeah.
You didn't say, right, I don't have
We'll go
the
and
speed
5
of
at
Mickey
the back,
van der
or we'll
Ven,
go and-
so
No.
I'm gonna tell him to drop back a little.
Mm.
I don't have Rodrigo Bentancur to marshal the midfield, so maybe add an extra body in there, right?
Yeah.
Son's
Let
dropped
me leverage Kulusevski's good form by
exactly.
Yeah.
Son's dropped off the planet Earth. How are we gonna mitigate that?
Maddison as well, but I think that's around player management.
Yeah,
Man management.
Madison was a sub for a long time.
This
A
is
long,
it.
long time.
All right, Maddison needs, in order to get the best out of him, and he needs to be doing X, Y, Z, or he needs to be in a position where he's got a bit of freedom.
Playing him as an 8.
So the question,
Like, what are we doing here?
so this week it came up that why can't I remember any managers' names today? What's going on? Crystal Palace manager Glasner. You know, Levy and the club are looking at him as next Spurs manager.
I wouldn't go. I would never go to Spurs. Not
So-
with Levy in the.
So,
in
so
the
my
board.
criticism of them was they never learned, because for me, Glasner's done well. But again, he's been there a relatively short time, right? And he's doing well. If I was him, I'm not getting there, right? But Binge was saying, well, it's a win-win for Glasner. If you go there, you don't do well, you can say, well, no one else has done well here. It's the club, it's not me. But if you go there, you're finally the guy that's done well there, then it looks good for you. But if
And-
I'm Spurs, I think there's a middle ground between going and getting I don't want to say a fading, but an old dinosaur star name, right? There's a difference between going and Conte and Mourinho and then going all the way to, no disrespect to Ange, but to Ange.
Yeah, that was a
There's a
big
middle
drop.
ground.
Yeah.
You don't. So them going to Glasner, it's
That
no
should have been
disrespect
the
to
move.
Glasner, but I don't think that's the move.
But
Why not?
we said last week they should be looking for the Glasners Iriolas that are not known to English football but are known in the football world. We
100%.
said that's the direction that they should go because they're
So
always
go and do
going.
the work. Go and do the work Bournemouth did. Go
This
and
is
do the
it.
work
They're always
Palace
going
did.
for someone who's done okay somewhere,
Yeah, exactly.
and he's done okay at Celtic.
Exactly.
We all know about Jose and Conte.
Yeah.
Nuno done okay at Forest.
Yeah.
We went back to Villas Boas. That's how far back they keep going to.
Yeah.
Oh, you've done okay there.
Just what
Come
I mean.
in.
You must be.
Yeah.
Why don't? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like he said, why don't you go out and see? Because Glasner was somebody. He won did he
Europa
won
League.
Europa League with Frankfurt.
Mm.
So he's not in small time,
No.
right? He's just come to Palace because
Yeah.
that's the opportunity.
Mm.
But he's not small time.
Yeah, fair, okay.
So why don't we? Like he said, go out in the market, do your research, go find the Tony Bloom database, and go and find someone who's turning leaves
to be honest,
like
bro,
the Zerbi
The
for
point
Brighton.
you and Keith are making basically disproves mine because you've just said it there. Actually, he would be a bit different.
Mm.
He has won the Europa League. He has performed at a certain level, whereas Nuno hadn't yet, right?
Mhm.
In my opinion, and Celtic, well, we can say maybe like Scotland is not the level,
Yeah.
right? It's not the bar, right?
But they were still people who the British media knew who thought they could steady the ship. Did you see what I mean? Like it's
But to be
still
honest, none of those
they're
people
still
you mentioned-
piggybacking off other
Someone
people.
else's-
Yeah,
Yeah, true. But now we're talking it through. None of the people we've mentioned that they've gone for in the past have Glasner's pedigree.
Yeah.
So it might be a slight difference then.
Mm.
But I just felt maybe I was being a bit flippant, but it just felt like, guys, go and find your own Glasner.
No,
Yeah,
for
they need to
real.
do.
Go and
Yeah,
find
that's
Go
what
and
they
find
need
your
to
own
do.
Herzler. Like,
Yeah.
come on, man.
And also, here's the thing. Palace might have looked and said, this guy plays the kind of football we think will suit
Yes.
our club
Yeah.
and the players that we have here, right? So it's like with Slot, they wanted someone that was not exactly like Klopp, but similar
Yeah.
or a similar ideology, right?
Yeah.
So if off the back of Keith's point, if you're just going, oh, well, he looks hot in the mid press right now, he's going to be able to come. But where's your due diligence? What have you done to say that he's going to be suitable for the club and the players that we have here?
I agree.
And if they do that, they've got to be patient. Because if you go back to Iriola last season, didn't win any of his first 7 league games.
Yeah.
But stuck with it. Look where they are now. Glasner didn't win a league
Struggled.
game till October. Look how they're doing now. FA Cup semi-final.
And in both those cases, certain signings were made.
Mm-hmm.
Hoyson and Bournemouth, the centre back,
Mm-hmm.
right? Clivert, which I thought wasn't working. You have to say down to the coach, he's brought it through.
Yeah.
Glasner again, you know me.
Mateta.
I've been
Wharton.
throwing grenades at Dougie Freedman
Nunes.
since we started this pod. But look at that team now.
Yeah.
Look at that team. Lacroix come in centre back.
Nunes.
When Anderson went, I thought, as you say, Mateta, he brought the best out of Mateta. And Nketiah signing didn't work out immediately, but he's scoring more minutes he's playing. Eze's come to the fore. I still think it could be a bit more consistent. Sarr,
Agreed.
do you know what I mean? Brought him back from France. So yeah, you're right. You got to be patient, but their talent ID has to be better as well.
Yeah.
Their talent ID has to be better. It has to be better. Pape Sarr running around clapping to everybody ain't gonna cut it. Like, it's just not gonna cut it. But yeah, and they've made a first move in changing things. So, ex-Arsenal CEO. I always get,
Is it Vev?
don't do it. Let me read his name properly. I should do it. I had to say it enough when he was Vinay Venkatesham, right? Has come in as the picture they've got here for him is incorrect. Google, that is very interesting. It is not him. I'll show you lot after. This is not Vinay Venkatesham. Anyway, has been appointed as Spurs' new CEO. I mean, I think that's a good thing. There's lots of things that Arsenal have been doing for the last 10, 15 years that I think, from a footballing perspective, Spurs would like to replicate. He did very well commercially, the naming rights for the stadium, naming rights for the for the
kit
training ground,
sponsor.
the kit sponsor, all of that stuff. Plus, he had a hand in a lot of the football stuff as well. It wasn't day to day, but he had a hand in a lot.
So that was my question. Do you think this is a footballing move
I
by
think so.
Levy, or is it a more commercial?
I think it's a footballing move.
Yeah.
Because if there's one thing we know about Levy, the commercials, he's got two hands gripped on that, right? The stadium is doing one. They're the only, I think they're not the only, but they're probably, I think they're the most profitable. So not the highest revenue,
On a match
but the
day,
most profitable
Yeah.
Premier League team as of last year. I'll fact check that. So when it comes to commercials, Daniel's good.
And I think it's from what I read, it was about they've grown to such a size.
Yes.
They need him there as well to help it and just increase the growth as well.
He needs to relax, bruv. He needs someone else needs to run. To your point, someone that can get the right football people in place. Because I think a lot of the Arsenal people that came in post Wenger, etc. And he was a CEO. He had a hand in something.
Yeah, it's like moving into that.
So yeah, and of course because it's Spurs and he used to work for Arsenal,
Tribalism.
people are trying to do the whole thing, but it doesn't matter.
Nope.
From a Daniel Levy point of view, if you get the right person, and whether you like it or not, Arsenal came out of the stadium rebuild commercially, healthily, went in the right direction. Why would he not want the same for Spurs? And on the football side, as you say, they made some good decisions, and he was the guy that led that. So I don't think fans should care, but this is football. Fans want something to tap their fingers about on X and Instagram, so people are going to make something of it that it isn't. But let's see, maybe this is the start of all that stuff we talked about. And they won't have any director of footballs who get banned because of dodgy. Right, Manchester City 5, Crystal Palace 2. Weird game. Now, this is the original game, not even of two halves. This is a game of one quarter, 3 quarters. So for those of you who haven't seen it, Palace took an early 2-0 lead.
Yeah.
And I thought, ooh, the slump is still going on.
Yeah.
What's good? We're having all the groups like, oh, see, Pep's lost it. He's lost the team. And I refreshed the app. And it was 2-1. And it was 2-2. And then I caught it from after it was 1-1. No. I caught after it was 2-1. And, for the rest of that half, I'll say for the last 35 minutes of the first half, Man City were camped in Crystal Palace's half.
Sliding doors moment though. If Eze's onside, I think he should have been, because he can look along the line.
Yes.
Yeah.
If that goal's not disallowed at 3-0, it's a totally different game, isn't it?
I agree. And
I
don't think City come back from that.
No. I don't think so. It knocks them as well.
It's a good finish too,
Yeah.
Such a good finish.
Yeah,
that's Palace's bogey. That's Palace's City's bogey team, right? They've got decent little results against them.
Andros Townsend.
I'm about to say that. The Townsend volley as well.
Rocket.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they've had like little draws.
Andros Townsend. Well, look, I think one of the first things that I immediately picked up from that was Kevin De Bruyne's performance, man. He was everywhere. Like, I called it a vintage.
Yeah.
Kevin De Bruyne performance. He was on the right. He was on the left.
Making runs.
Yeah.
Slapping free kicks.
Yeah.
That's the performance that is why people sometimes put him in their top 5 CMs.
In the Prem.
In the Prem.
No, he's there. He's there.
Every time.
He's there.
No, it's a debate, innit? I'm not saying we have to get into it now, but I'm just saying some people say no. Some people,
anyway.
I won't say top 3, but I know it's for another time.
Oh no,
Did
Gerard.
he better than Yaya?
Not for me.
No one's better than Yaya.
So you got Yaya and KDB in your top 3.
If I wrote it in the group, Yaya's number 1.
Yeah.
So who makes you number 3?
What did I write? I wrote Yaya, KDB, Vieira.
Do you know what? I'll give him that because it's different, innit?
Gerard
It's not
was
the
4th.
usual.
I can't remember who was.
Let me
Lampard
clip
was
that
5th.
still.
Lampard was 5th.
Lampard was 5th, but like 5.99999.
Yeah.
You know me and the Lampard team, but let's not get into that today. Let's not get into that today. Yeah? Because if you take... Anyway. But again, Mamouche, man.
Oh, he slapped that.
He's looking all right. He didn't need any time to get used to the Prem.
He got lucky. Took a little.
Yeah, it did take a little, but
deflection.
Got to be there,
anticipated.
innit?
No, I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying like he made it sound like it was a rocket.
No,
Just-
but I mean, just
what I like about him is he's active and he's not busy for the sake of it, right? He's always causing defenders problems.
He's sharp.
He's always in that
very
sharp. On his
space
toes.
between the fullback and the centre back. Seems to have, consistent quality, which is what you need to be in that team. So I think they've been searching for him for a while. I think Doku might need to call his agent and say what we're doing this summer. But I think he's one I'm watching out for next season. So to come in January and hit a ground running in the Pep team, we always hear how it's hard to play in the Pep team.
yeah.
Hard to come to the Prem. He's kind of said, okay.
What does City's future look like though? What does next
They
season
need
look like?
it's a rebuild.
It's a proper rebuild,
Yeah.
right? Do you think they're going to struggle for top 4 or
No.
there's enough quality?
Nah, I think what's his name? O'Reilly played in midfield, which is his position. He had a good game
Mm-hmm.
yesterday.
When he left back at first and then
Yeah, so when he's played from left back, but he's a central midfielder.
McAtee.
McAtee's there. We've said Rico Lewis is a bit kind of thing.
I think the signing that I think the signing that they made, which was going to have to happen in the summer, is Nico Gonzalez. That midfield signing was the one they had to make, and then they made it quick because everything was going crazy. Then I think they need a right back.
Yeah, that's my point. Right
They need a
back.
right back.
They need another midfielder.
And they need 2 midfielders.
So I think next season, and they bought the defender that had the
Bad stuff.
bad star. What's his name? Was he on the bench?
Kusanov.
Yeah, Kuzunov.
They need
I think they get rid of Nunes. I think they get rid of obviously KDB leaves. I think a few people
Gundogan. I
leave.
think Gundogan will go.
I think
Bernardo
Yeah, so they
Silva
need-
probably be
yeah,
out the door.
yeah.
That's 3 midfielders.
Yeah,
But as long as they're selling,
I think
they
Jack
can then-
Grealish.
As long as they're selling, they can replace.
who's sellable?
Yeah. Well, Savino's there. Oscar Bob is
Bernardo
there.
Silva's definitely
Yeah,
sellable.
Bob's coming back.
Yeah.
Bernardo, how much for them? How much would
You
Bernardo
can,
go
you
for?
can get a good 50, 60 for him.
50.
Bernardo Silva.
He's
30,
32.
he's 30. No, he's not 32. He's 30.
He's 30. I'm sure he's 32. I think he's turning 32.
The day you're having, don't be sure about anything. Yeah?
He's 30 years old.
You're not getting 60 million. 50,
You're not getting
60.
60 million for them.
30
What's
at a
sellable? No, it's
push.
sellable. They ain't got sellable players.
If
at
you are
the moment.
DOF, yeah, and Man City said, I was like, you got to pay 60 million for Bernardo Silva, you're going to tell them to go jump. Because you can spend that 60 million.
Only
elsewhere.
because he wants to leave.
What, you still spend 60 million on?
If he didn't want to leave,
Nah, this ain't the
and then
Bernardo Silva
Silva's
world.
not. He's not rubbish. He's not
Not
falling
rubbish,
off a
but
cliff.
But he's not.
No, but
Yeah.
he's old.
There's no
not
resale
falling off-
value on 60.
Yeah, but that's
He's
because
31
I
in
think. Do you know?
4
I'll be
months.
real with you. I genuinely think he's not hit the levels that we know him because he wants to leave. He's not. I think that
Who else is sellable?
the motivation, the drive's not.
But who spends that much money on him?
On the 31.
Who
No
do you
one
think needs
does.
him that bad?
No one needs him that bad.
So he's not sellable.
I'm not saying that's. I just threw out a number, but
Yeah.
But then who
I
else
think
is
you
sellable
can
for
get
him?
Bernardo Silva for
I
30
think
mil.
I think you could.
No, 30 mils. But
Yeah,
I think you
I'll
can get him
take
for
30.
30.
dirt cheap, bro.
I think you can get him for 30.
If you get him for 30, I think someone in
Start
that. I
next
think
season.
someone. I think Chicky or whoever's in that board needs to get their head tapped because what the hell?
Well,
Who
it
else is
depends on
sellable
his,
for them, though? I don't think they've got sellable assets right now.
No, I don't think so. I think they're
Edison's-
definitely signing more than they're selling.
Yeah, even Nunes, like when Pep's coming out and say he hasn't got the IQ to play centre midfield. like, what?
I think Jack Grealish is sellable.
So Bernardo Silva's got a year left on his contract.
You don't think Jack Grealish
No.
is sellable?
Not at a reasonable
I
price.
think because of his wages,
I'd pay more for
I think he's about 25 mil.
Bernardo than I would for Jack Grealish right now.
Really?
I think Jack Grealish
Easily.
is 25 mil. 25 mil now. I
No,
don't
come on, man. Wow. 25 mil.
think- What's he doing?
No, allow
Nah,
it, man.
40.
I think you're getting 50 million for Jack Grealish, which is
Right,
mad.
that is mad.
Which is mad.
I'm saying 25. That's his
50,
real value.
50 max.
50 max.
50 max.
No one's coming to Man City.
Who's paying
and saying,
50 mil
we'll
for him?
give you 70, 75 mil.
Who's paying 50 mil?
No,
for him?
never that
I
high.
think a
never
man
thinking
English
that.
team will pay 50 mil.
And the
Who,
thing
like
is,
a
like,
West Ham?
Jack
I
is
think West Ham will pay
28.
But you know what it is? The wages.
He's 28, 29 as well.
Grealish.
29.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 29.
He's 30 this year, bro.
Oh, no. 40
His
max. Not even 40 max.
And his wages.
Jack Grealish is 30 in September.
Yeah.
And his
40 max.
wages as well.
And his wages would be
No one's taking it.
juicy. So,
He'll go back on a free to Villa.
Chelsea might take him.
no, rude. I think that's a classic. You know, back in the day, West Ham was splashing a bit. Jack Grealish is a classic West Ham signed.
Is it
50,
Chelsea?
60 mil. I wouldn't be surprised. He's not getting another title challenging Champions League challenging team.
No.
He's
If he
not.
has
He's
to
not
go-
done enough.
If he gets to go abroad,
But I do think if he stays,
Villa will sign him back.
no, I think if he stays, because he's someone that is refreshingly, he's quite open, innit? About how well he's playing or not. So he even said, listen, I've not done well enough. I'm not done well enough. So it wouldn't surprise me if he had a bit of a season. He's that kind of player. He'll have one good season. But for me, they should not cut their losses, but they've not
I
got
don't think they
100
can
million.
cut their losses.
They've
I don't
not-
think no one's
they've
going to
not-
take him.
If you look at the other £100 million signings, yeah, Man United got more out of Lukaku than they've got out of Grealish, than Man City got out of Grealish.
Chelsea's got more out of
But
Caicedo.
You see when people, with the £100 million thing, yeah?
We'll come back to that one.
The way I see it is like after midweek, people say to Rice, that's a £100 million signing.
No, I don't.
You're
I don't
only
look at
100
that.
for me. You're only £100 million signing if you bring trophies into the club.
No.
So, yeah,
That's
like
No, that's fair. That's fair.
yeah,
That's fair.
like if you say
How else
is,
would you?
if
how
you
else
say
would you
like
quantify it?
is Declan Rice worth the money, I could be like
Wait.
maybe.
Without being pedantic, what I would say is he's showing why they thought it was worth paying 100 million.
Yeah,
for him.
because
Yeah.
But
But
if we don't
seasons-
win a Premier or CL,
It hasn't,
Then, no.
yeah, it hasn't been value for
But-
money. That's the
Yes,
point I'm
yeah.
trying to make. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the point I'm
All
trying
right,
to
okay,
make.
all right. Here's why I push back on that, right? Because let's just say, how much did Real Madrid pay for Cristiano? Was it 80?
80,
Yeah,
right.
80.
Let's just say they didn't win trophies, but he was playing at a level where it was undeniable.
Fair.
But then you haven't
Is
brought
he
value.
still not?
No, but then you haven't brought value.
No,
to
but
the,
all right,
to the
but
team.
he's playing
No,
at
but
level.
I'm in the
Football
team.
value. Football value.
Yeah.
Because business value, he paid for himself in shirts.
but
But I take Isaac's point.
no, but for me,
So do I.
you buy a player to elevate you. So let's take Liverpool with
Ooh.
Alisson and Van Dijk. We broke the world record fee for a goalkeeper
yeah.
and for a defender.
Mhm.
We done that to get trophies. If we had done that and we played nice football, I don't care.
No,
No,
but I'm
wait,
not
but
talking
you-
about the
nuance,
team.
no,
I'm
no.
talking about him as an individual.
that's
No,
the
but
thing.
you're,
No,
but you're
alright,
part of the. You're part of the. You spend that money because you think that's an integral part of the puzzle to get you to win trophies.
Okay,
So
then,
for-
but you do
so
that.
for
He
me,
comes in
when
and
I
he
say
starts
that-
scoring, but your goalkeeper gets injured, season-ending injury.
Well, look at
Yeah,
Saliba.
I don't-
Look what happens. You bring Rice in, Saliba gets injured and messes up your whole season. You can't.
But I don't think that was based on Saliba being missing. I think it's the quality that you had to replace him.
no.
So I think,
Yeah, but still, but that
But
doesn't.
Rice
That
moved,
doesn't.
but Rice moved the needle.
But-
No one can deny
but
that.
if you go for the next, like, I'm not saying you will, but if you go 2 more seasons without winning a trophy,
That's not Rice's fault.
That's not
but no,
Rice's fault.
It's
but
not
that-
right, that's not right about Rice's fault, but
it's not Rice's fault.
Did
But
your £100 million investment pay off?
that,
ultimately,
this is it. Yeah.
If I'm putting in 9s and 10s,
every week. Yeah, fair.
I've done my
You've
job.
done your part. Yeah,
But I think for the club, it doesn't show a value for money. So you look at
It doesn't
Bellingham,
show a value
they-
for money. It
he
doesn't show a
came
value
in, they won
because his
they won the
position doesn't
Champions
require
League.
him to score
You know what's
goals.
funny, Keith? You know what's funny? I think that Bellingham's a great example. So he came in last season. They won the league, didn't they? Last season.
Yeah.
And
and Champions
And
League.
Champions League. If he has a stinker for the rest of his contract, people are going to say he wasn't worth the 100 million. Think about it. We can see it now. People are going to say he wasn't worth the 100 million. If he has a stinker for the rest of his contract, he doesn't play well. Even if they win trophies, he doesn't play well. Because this is where it doesn't go both ways, isn't it?
Mm.
If Real Madrid win the Champions League every year for the next 2 years, but Bellingham plays badly, really visibly badly, no one's going to say he was worth the 100 million.
But he's been a part of
No,
success
bro.
No.
within
No,
that
but-
Yeah, but
team.
do you see the point I'm making? If he
No.
plays bad,
I
And they
totally-
win.
I totally get that.
This is where the Isaac's point is. If Arsenal don't win anything,
It's not Rice's
Right?
fault.
apart from me going to find Arteta's location, if Arsenal don't win anything, but Declan Rice has improved as a player, has elevated the team closer to those things, the reason why the club paid the 100 million is justified. It is justified.
It's justified.
But if we don't win a trophy, and we don't win the Prem, forget the trophy. If we don't win the Prem or the CL,
Yeah.
right? You didn't buy 100 million pound Declan Rice to win the League Cup. Let's be honest. Yeah.
And I think it's easier to point the finger when it's you're in a position such as a goal.
Oh no, I'm not saying
or
that.
up front
Yes.
because you're
It's very
measured
direct output. Yeah.
by your direct output.
Mm.
How many clean sheets have you had? How many goals have you scored?
Yeah.
In midfield,
There's so many metrics.
But I think
my point is
in midfield. No,
my
in
slight isn't
midfield.
on Rice.
No,
my
I know it is,
my
I know.
slight is the 100 million. What
Yes.
does that 100 million
Yeah.
get you as a club?
But on that point, you know what's interesting about the Declan Rice thing though? Because other teams, so you just mentioned yourself, you guys, you broke the record for keeper, you broke the record. I think because of the way Arsenal's done it as well, not cheap buys, but this here, youth player here, youth player there. So that transfer has just stood out like a sore thumb.
Of course.
Yeah. And because the other big one died a death, Pepe, right?
And also, let's be
Yeah,
honest.
performed
Let's be
huge.
honest. That 100 million price tag came from the fact that West Ham said, you need him. We don't want to sell him.
If his name was Tonali, we'd have got it for 65 mil.
Yeah. European winning captain as well.
Yeah. If his name was Rice, they would have, you know what I mean? You know? He would have been 30 mil English tax. So I take your point, but
I think it's a bit of both, to be fair. Like, for me, I think if you buy a £100 million asset, I think you want to say he's going to win us a league or a Champions League. But on the flip side, you can still say that person
Has
was-
moved us.
has moved the needle.
this is what we needed
Yeah.
to improve that area.
Mm.
It was a glaring thing. People talked about it for years. You haven't got there. So they said, right, if it's going to cost 100 million to do it, let's spend the money. But I think Arsenal not winning a trophy is going to be less about spending 100 million and more about where we didn't spend money in other areas. In my personal opinion.
I know, I agree.
And I think, again, this is not even an Arsenal segment, but I do think, again, no team has gone from not being competitive to winning the league and or CL without making a few of those statement signs. Like, you can have some, you get some gems, right? You get a Saliba, you get a Gabriel. How much did these guys cost us? I can't remember.
Yeah.
It wasn't big money. You get Odegaard that you get on loan and a Saka from a youth team. But you're going to have to do them couple of chunky ones, whatever that costs at the time. At your time, it was 80 million for a keeper, 80 something million for a defender. Now for us, it's 120, 130 million for a striker, whatever. You got to do it. And if he wins one of the big trophies without us making another one in the signing, I will never say a bad word about him again because I don't see how you do it.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that now.
Yeah.
We're seeing it now. We didn't have, and you didn't do it. So fair enough. But yeah, Jack Grealish, he ain't going nowhere. I think he gets end of his contract and he goes to play for West Ham. Or he goes back to Villa.
Yeah.
And I don't think
I wouldn't take him back at Villa.
I don't think how does he play the Emery team? We've only seen him consistently affect games when the team plays for him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take him back to Villa.
I wouldn't.
But then you
Who
say
does he
that.
replace? Who does he
But no,
replace?
you say that, but they've taken a gamble on two players, right? Rashford and Asensio.
Oh yeah, true.
So the DOF at Villa and the new owner saying, look, we're prepared to take gambles here. He's
Two completely different players to Jack Grealish.
No, but what I'm highlighting is the new owner is prepared to take gambles.
Yeah, but they're players that you can see their output may be worth it, and
I think those two move you even further away from Grealish.
Exactly. Exactly.
Think about how they play and the impact they have on the game, etc. You went and bought Rodgers from Middlesbrough. Look at that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going back to that. And he'll come back. He'll be the highest paid player at club.
Yeah. I don't
The
think
whole
yeah.
romance.
Unless you're getting Jack that was here before, and not Jack that he became at City.
So
And you remember what I thought about Jack before they bought him? You lot all remember.
Yeah.
I wasn't having it. I've never seen it. Never.
No, you're mad. Jack at Villa.
Nah, man.
No, he's shown moments.
Him and
Not-
Ross
not to-
Barkley.
not to
that
go
season.
into-
Remember that season?
Not to be
Yeah,
going to
well.
City
They were balling.
to go and I've never seen that from him. Never. And he's proven it because his time at City has proven it.
Yeah.
No,
In my
but he's a
opinion.
different player than he was at Villa
Boy.
because he was taking players on.
If you're made of the stuff, you're made of the stuff.
Like he was direct. No, I'm going to the goal. I'm scoring.
Doku does that.
That's what
But
Jack
Grealish
was,
did
but
it.
better, and he had end product.
Boy. And products? You sure?
He was all right.
Are you sure?
He was all right. He
Yeah, I
wasn't
got a
like,
laptop here.
he wasn't outstanding. He
You
was all
end
right.
products? You sure?
He was
Or
all
are we
right.
looking at last season Villa numbers? That
Yeah,
would
but you know the highest number of goals he scored?
I think it's 6.
5 in the league.
8 in the league.
that at Villa or City?
Villa.
Oh yeah, you're right. It was 8.
He's
And then assists.
he had 2 seasons in the Premiership. One with 8 goals, one with 6 goals.
10 assists.
But you know his time at the last 2 seasons at Villa is a bit like Hazard at Chelsea, where it's not all about stats in it.
Exactly.
It's just about. And I'm not Hazard's biggest fan, but it's like,
Because you're crazy, but good.
but it's about what his impact.
We know Keith. We know Keith. Like,
Keith's not alright, bro.
Keith, he has the
I
moments.
promise
We
you,
gotta give him- like, we all have them in it, but Keith has more. He has more.
I didn't know this. You're not Hazard's biggest fan.
We've been through this, man. We don't need to revisit this.
No.
Wow.
When you say, sorry.
No,
When you say you're not his biggest fan, as in because
I think he's overhyped for what he delivered.
Oh.
That's fair.
I thought you were the maddest member of this team.
Yo,
Hey.
man, don't do that.
I thought Binge was the maddest member. Hazard's overrated.
For me,
All right,
slightly,
cool.
yeah.
You know what?
Yeah,
You know
slightly,
what?
yeah.
I'm gonna let you do that because when I say Laps is overrated, I don't want to hear nothing.
You can have that.
I'm with
Cool.
you. I'm with you on that one.
What lamp? Nah, I'm not with you.
What Lamps? Yeah, cool.
He's not. You lot are smoking, but
That's mad. Hold on.
Hazard. It was crazy for Chelsea.
Bruv, 16 goals a season. Calm. He wasn't even a
Those
striker.
games where he never gave away the ball. He dictated the whole game.
come on,
Nah,
man.
nah.
Big games were missing, but anyway.
Oh, don't
Sorry.
do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Well,
Anyway,
all I'm saying is, that after midweek, they're saying Doué's got more Champions League knockout goals than him. So, yeah, I mean, the numbers don't lie.
Don't do that.
yeah,
Don't
but
do
Jimmy
that.
Traore's got more Champions League medals than R9.
Yeah, but that's a silly.
All right, then.
comparison.
Relax.
No, don't do
You
that.
can't
Don't
it.
do
You can't
that.
have it. You
Don't
can't
do
have it both
that.
ways. You can't have it both
Don't
ways.
do
Okay,
that.
we'll come back to Doué's career, innit? And see, like,
don't do
we'll do that, yeah? Because Doué's going to the top.
His career is going to be crazy.
No.
Oh, mate.
Crazy. That PS Eddie, that team. Anyway. City, I think you're right. I think it is a rebuild, but the way people talk about the money they spend, but the way they buy players, in my opinion, they've had more hits than misses. They buy players well.
And they get them
I
early.
think 3 or 4 signings in the summer, and it gets a bit percolating. It might be back to.
But that's like what, KDB, Gundogan, who else? Bernardo Silva.
I think 5 players are leaving this summer. It's a lot.
Yeah,
I think it's a lot.
I think it's a
KDB's
battle for
leaving.
top 4 again.
Gundogan's on a 1-year contract, so that's 2 I don't think stay. Bernardo Silva, I mean, every time I think he leaves, he doesn't leave, man. He just sags around.
It's like he's being held hostage, isn't it? Or something. It's like
he
they got
wanted to
ransom
leave
on them or
last
something.
season. Like he vocally said, "I want to go."
So I think at least, it's a bit,
So a battle for
Okay,
top 4 next season.
even if City are kind of out of the game for 2 years, and then 26, 27 they're back in, it's still a madness.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
2
But
years,
that's if
2 year
Pep there.
blip.
Because remember, Pep's got one. No, next year did last year, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Or-
Next 26, 27 is his last season.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Might go get the Barca manager.
Yeah, but again,
Luis Enrique.
they will do what we're telling this person. They will go and find
The top
because I think
manager.
Amarim was meant to come in and because the Sporting Lisbon director of football is going to be the director of football at City.
Well, Chicky's leaving.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's leaving. Yeah, he's
Oh,
leaving.
well, yeah, that makes sense because Pep will be leaving.
Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, interesting. But until then, we'll all enjoy the space that they vacate.
Mhm.
Well, Liverpool will enjoy. Arsenal are clearly up. Yeah, Forest. Moving on to now the surprise package of the season. Forest lost at home to Everton. I was wrong in it. David, I was wrong.
It's an episode of apologies today, isn't it?
Mm.
I was wrong, but we'll come back to this. We'll come back to this because I think my long-term point still stands. But we'll come back to this. I was very wrong. The record is mad. Mad.
21 points?
And you know, he's annoyed me because he wasn't doing this at West Ham.
He was.
He was not.
He was not.
He was not, bruv.
He was not.
He came back and said,
But is that a
"What's been
player?
up?"
but
Is that a player?
No, but he finished 7th with West Ham.
Yeah. He done all right. with
He
West
finished
Ham.
7th and then won a cup.
He done all right.
Once.
He had
Out of
2
5
spells.
seasons with West
No, let's not do this. He
He's come ready to rumble for
first
his boy.
spell.
David Moyes, assistant agent.
Moyes, get me VIP, please. So, no, remember the first time he done well, then they got whatever,
He kept them up,
They saw
And
the
they had a
stars and got
difference.
Pellegrini
and
in
but
it.
they didn't give him the job in it.
and they had a different, and then they didn't give him a job.
And then they saw the stars, got Pellegrini in.
Then flopped,
Yeah.
and then
But
put,
then why didn't they give him the job?
for whatever reason, I'm not
No,
going-
because they weren't performing.
No, he kept them up.
He kept them
No.
up, and then there was
Remember, he
some
came in at the back
discrepancy.
end of the season.
But that's it.
Yeah,
that's
but
the
I
point.
think they tried to do what the Bournemouth guys did and said, like with Gary O'Neill.
Yeah,
Yeah, he kept us up, that's cool, but this is not the type of ball. This is not the type of stuff we want to play.
Yeah.
So we're gonna
Premier
get
League
the,
winner.
we're gonna get the Latin manager, we're gonna get the exotic guy. Well, to be fair, Pellegrini had a good CV. He won the Prem, he won the FA Cup. A good CV.
yeah. And then he came back, and then he's returned,
Yeah.
and he's won them the cup,
Yeah.
and then he had them. What was it? 8th?
They were
8th or
wobbling
9th?
though. They were wobbling. He did 7th in the
Yeah.
first stint, didn't he?
Yeah, 7th. It was
Yeah,
7th, then they won the Conference League, and then last season, I can't remember where they finished, but
He came 9th last season.
was it 9th last season?
He finished
Okay.
9th.
you
I checked
sure?
the table.
I thought it was.
He
And
finished
he
9th.
said, he said, what's the main? Why are you losing games? He said, we sold Declan Rice. I thought, you joke.
But the other thing is, before he left, kudos what he got. I think it's 14 goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bowen performing. He had the team performing.
Yeah, his
All right,
man
man.
management
All right. I
was good.
was wrong in it. All right.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. I just
Cool,
want you.
all
Thank
right.
you.
Just sharp. Anyway,
What's his record now?
I don't know.
How many points he's got?
I don't know.
Form chart.
I don't know.
I can bring it up.
Yeah, I'm sure you can.
Let me bring it up for you.
But I just think I was worried at one point that Everton were going to be playing in the new stadium in the Championship. it was a real possibility.
Yeah, I think we all were at one
It was a
point.
real
I
possibility.
think that was
and every week I talked about Everton, you were like, they're getting that. They're getting that.
Yeah, no,
they're
I'm
getting
the same.
but that was under Dyche, innit? Like, he's
But
come
even
in.
Dash
and he's,
wasn't.
Yeah, 21 and 6.
no,
games.
Dyche was bad.
Hey, did you see that?
21 and 13.
There was an interview with Dash where he was talking about
Company
wanting-
and Burnley.
No, about wanting the bigger jobs.
Yeah, and did you hear what he said in that conversation about Company? How Company cost him X amount of million, but then he gets the job at Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
Mr. Dyche, that's what you take from that situation. That explains everything. Literally, that explains everything. If that's how you look at it, that explains everything. So, listen, mate.
Can you imagine Sean Dyche managing Bayern Munich? Hey. Hey.
Imagine.
Them players, those players,
They'll walk out.
come on, these are the same players that told the club to get rid of Ancelotti. Listen, they'll get out of there quickly. But West, yeah, look, Everton, 38 points, 8 wins, 10 losses, 14 draws. They've drawn a lot, but he wanted to stop the losses. That was his key thing, right? Stop the losses. He's got the best goal difference in the bottom half. Well, between him and down to relegation, -4. He's done all right, man. He's done well. And then he goes to Forest, who,
Yeah, none of the traditional big teams have won there this season.
listen,
So
Forest
that's a
have
good
won.
result.
Forest have won the same amount of games as Arsenal. 17 games. They've drawn 6. Probably lost too many. But that's not an easy place to go and win.
Mm.
Went there, win. It was a mistake, uncharacteristically from Murillo.
Yeah.
It was a dagger, man. Absolute dagger.
That being said, Everton were controlling the game.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
You're
a
right.
lot of
And
chances.
it was a good, confident finish. You know when the confidence is just...
Right, it's a striker's finish.
But-
First time.
Yeah. But it was the
pass
way
was
he finished
lucky,
it.
though.
It was like he lifted
You
it.
see
Yeah.
that?
The
Nah,
pass
he
was
wrong footed the
lucky,
defender a
though.
little bit, though. Because he played it behind him and he was running towards the goal. So.
Yeah, but it took a little nick on the way.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
I didn't see
It
that.
didn't go
It's
through
still-
clean. McNeil's pass, it didn't go through clean.
So I have to ask. Keeper.
No.
No.
Nah.
He's put it
He
near post
deceived
and
him.
it
No, he
wasn't...
deceived him. He
No, it went
deceived him.
top corner.
No, it
He
went
went
top
across
corner. It went
the-
top
Was it
corner.
top corner?
He
Damn.
lifted it. He shaped like he was going far corner and he just gave it a little lift. It was a good
Can't talk
finish.
bad on my boy Sales, man.
What I done to you
Got
at
me
7
hella
aside.
fantasy points and shit.
Are you right?
What did he say? What did he say?
What he did to me at 7 aside. He wishes.
We could call Ashley
I
down,
don't
you
know
know.
if you scored against Alisson. So.
I don't
No,
know, man.
I agree with you. But he did deceive him. But Alisson's a best keeper, isn't it? So
But yeah, Forest would be kicking themselves, man. They lost their last 2 games. If they had won both of those, they'll be level with Arsenal on
If they won
points.
both of those, they'll be going for the title. So look, I think... but you said you think they're going to drop out.
No, I said I wouldn't be surprised if they drop
Oh,
out now.
sorry.
It's a stark difference in the word in there. Wording is key. Yeah, just based on like the form of the teams behind them, I think it's too tight to
So-
even though it's top 5 now.
In the 5
Now-
Champions League places, we have City in 5th on 55 points. Yeah, he's right, Newcastle in 4th on 56 points. And then Forest in 3rd on 57 points.
How many?
Newcastle have a game in hand.
and where's Villa?
Yeah, Villa was
Villa
6th with
are
what?
7th on 54. Chelsea are 6th on 54. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is
It's mad.
squeaky bum time,
Ooh.
man. Ooh.
Gonna be
Surely not.
interesting.
Let me look at Forest's fixtures. So if I look
But
at...
to be fair, like I know they'll be kicking themselves if they don't get Champions League, but even just to get a European place through the league off the back of last season.
No,
that's
you've been there, you've been
That's
there.
the Champions League now.
It has to be
Have to.
CL. Because they've
Like,
been
I
there
don't-
for like...
can you imagine-
But
in
that's
that
not how.
dressing room,
But
bro.
that's not how it works, though. You got to do it for the whole 38 games.
6 games left.
No.
It will be such a kick in the
Because
teeth.
Yeah,
they've
it
been
would
there
be.
for like 10 games, right?
Newcastle have the toughest fixtures.
Yeah, I'm looking at Forest's fixtures now. They got Tottenham at away next week.
Win.
That's not the top fixture. They got City at home. That's well.
They could do
Forest
a
in
job
the
of
FA Cup.
semi-final.
Yeah.
It's a distraction they don't need. I'll be honest. But anyway, they got Brentford at home, Palace away, Leicester at home, West Ham away, and then
They can do
Chelsea
it.
at home. So
That game-
Leicester at home is 3 points, right?
Yeah. Tottenham 3 point.
Tottenham's at home there.
No, Tottenham away. You mean?
No,
Oh, Tottenham
but
are at home.
Tottenham are at
Oh,
home.
sorry, yeah.
Yeah, 3 points.
I'm going for a score draw on that one.
Brentford could be tough. You never know.
I expect them to beat Palace. I don't know why. So at least 6 points.
I don't know, you know.
It's not easy. It's not easy. What? Who have Newcastle?
Newcastle have Palace next, then they've got Villa
Home away.
away. Then they're at home to Ipswich, away Brighton, then they've got Chelsea. Then Arsenal. Then Everton.
Arsenal, easy game for Newcastle.
And to be
So-
fair, City fixtures are looking quite favourable, other than Aston Villa at home and Everton away. So they got Everton away, Villa at home. Then they go Wolves at home, Southampton away, Bournemouth at home, Fulham away.
Is that City?
Hey, listen. Bournemouth at home, no joke.
Yeah.
Bournemouth at home is no joke. That's no joke. It's not the old City, right? Go on.
So Chelsea.
Yeah.
This is horrible. So they're away to Fulham, then they're at home to Everton, then they're at home to Liverpool,
Forget
then
it.
they're away to Newcastle,
Chelsea
Oh
comes
my
seventh.
days.
then they're home to United,
Yeah, they're not making it.
Seventh.
and then they're
They're
away
coming
to
seventh.
Forest.
They're not-
forget it.
they're not
Forget
making
it.
it.
Not
Forget it.
making the top four.
They've not
top
had
five.
consistency.
They're not
Forget it.
making
Yeah.
top five.
Unless Cole Palmer decides to turn up again, forget it.
They're not making top five.
Forget it. So I think the top 5 as it is stays as it is. It's just what order they finish in.
I think Villa's sneaky, you know.
Nah, I think
I
I
think
don't
it's
think so.
Newcastle.
I think Villa will fall.
I think Newcastle's going to sneak it. I
Because
think
They're already there.
Villa have got PSG,
those are the top five.
Newcastle, City, and then Palace in the FA Cup.
Yeah, long.
Nah,
I think the current top 5 stays. Liverpool, Arsenal, Forest.
something falls
Newcastle,
away, and I
City.
think it'll be the league.
Huh?
I think something falls away for Villa, and I think it'll be.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I
with
think
you, John.
I think all that happens with top 5 is the order changes. I think
So you think City comes third?
possibly City or Newcastle come third. I think
Yeah, be interesting.
like Newcastle dropping to 5th now is not an absolute disaster considering it's 2 points away.
Got
But
the game in
I
hand.
don't see. I mean, it's only 3. Villa only 3 points behind. Let's see. If Villa get the Champions League,
I think CL's going
that's the best January transfer window I've ever seen.
What? Better
Like-
than Van Dijk at Liverpool, coming in at Liverpool.
Ooh. What did you win that season?
Nothing, but we got to the CL final.
Nah, it might still be the best because
They
might
weren't-
get, they might get semi-final of the CL. They might.
Mm.
They're not going to, but they might. So if they're in the season, Champions League qualification and quarter-final of the Champions League, considering how the season was going in November,
Yeah, and semi-final of FA Cup as well.
semi-final of the FA Cup, that might be the best January transfer window that I can remember.
Mm.
Yeah.
Might be.
The free
Yeah.
signings? Was it
And the
Marley,
outgoings as well,
Rashford,
like-
I see.
Like, no one's mentioned Duran.
Nah,
It's like Duran weren't even there.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, both
It's
it
crazy.
goes both ways, innit? Like,
No,
Marlon
Martin. You're thinking of Martin. Marlon was January. So free
Daniel
strikers.
Marlon was January, yeah.
Free strikers.
But keeps making a good point. No one's even mentioned Duran. Not once.
yeah, it's like, oh, but go on then, hold it.
Because it was talk like, well, we can't let him go. That's crazy. Why would you let him go? He's in form,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. And then in
Well,
comes
nah.
Rashford, Asensio, Marlon. All right,
There you
say
go.
no more.
All right, just to round up the rest of the games. So, yeah, we just talked about Aston Villa. They won 3-0 away at Southampton. Ollie Watkins, Tonyo Marlin, and the old horse McGinn still going with an injury time to make it 3. Brighton drew 2-2 with Leicester. Not a great result for them, if I'm honest. 2 penalties from João Pedro for Brighton. Steffi Mavadidi and Caleb Okoli for Leicester City. Arsenal drew 1-1 with Brentford because they're really annoying. Thomas Partey with 61st minute goal. He's on good form, Thomas Partey.
Yeah,
Playing
good
really well.
break as well from Rice.
Yeah, fantastic break from Rice. Rice, I mean, I saw Rice give someone a step over yesterday. I mean, they say football's a confidence game. mental. Gave him a step over. I said,
I think he's been
So what's this?
clearly your best player this season.
100%.
yes.
Like,
Most
no one touches
consistent.
it. Yeah.
Most consistent.
Yeah.
He said, if you speak to some of my fellow Arsenal fans, they will
Yeah,
say
on
he
him.
should be captain.
Yeah.
Should be captain.
I'm not mad at that.
He should be captain. Brentford, Johan Wissa. This guy, man. Equalising in the 74th minute.
Good finish.
Yeah, very good finish. He's got that. But I never hear any transfer rumors for
I
Wissa.
think his age now. I think the age is a problem.
no, someone bid for him in January. It was
Saudi.
I want to say Newcastle. Frank was like, nah, he ain't going nowhere.
How old is Johan Wissa?
I think he's 29, 28, 29.
No, that's all right these days in ball. Give him a
Yeah,
little 4-year
somebody
contract.
wanted Wissa in January. Pretty sure it was Newcastle.
How old is he?
They put like a-
1996. What's that, 28? Yeah, he's 28. He's 29 in September. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But I think the issue is not the age. I think it's what Brentford will try and ask for him
For his age, yeah.
for his age. And I
fair.
think that
So that draw leaves Arsenal still 13 points behind Liverpool after their win today. Useless. Chelsea drew 2-2 with Ipswich at home.
Shocking result, man.
Ipswich went 2-0 up. 2 good goals though.
Yeah.
2 good goals from Ipswich and Ciso and Ben Johnson. Semi-automated offsides.
no.
Doing the
What
job.
was the linesman doing?
I don't know.
I was like, he flagged offside. I'm like, everyone could see that
He
was
must, have
offside.
been he must have been on the beers this morning. I don't know
Yeah.
what's going on. And then own goal from Axel Tuanzebe, even though Cucurella scored like he just done a bad finish. Yeah, I mean, celebrate like he
Celebrate,
just
yeah.
done a bad finish. And then Jadon Sancho with a quality
Picked out top.
strike,
Yeah.
top bins. Shame is
Do you
he
think
wouldn't be
Maresca manifested their slump in form after saying they're not in a title race?
No, I think he just
He was
he
being
sees them in
real.
training every day. He knows what they're doing.
I get that, but they were one win away from going top of the league. So to say you're
Yeah,
not
but
in a
that's
title
not,
race,
been, that's not been in a title race. Being in a title race,
I don't know, man.
He's being in it now.
I don't
We're
think
not
he
even in the title
manifested
race.
it.
Arsenal aren't even in the title race.
I don't think he manifested it. I think what he was trying to do is manage expectations.
Yeah, exactly.
And then behind the doors, he's going,
No, I agree with you the first part. The second part, I think he's looking at the team. He's been in and around teams, and he's saying to the players, "Listen, don't get carried away. We play next week. We play the week after. Then we play. The
but
week
they
after."
weren't playing. It weren't like they were scraping wins though. They were playing good football.
Yeah, and he knows
So
how
I
hard
think-
it is to maintain it.
Yeah, I still
And
don't think
but
you
he's
come
been
out and
proven
say
right.
that.
No, but he's been proven right though.
Yeah, like I can't argue that fact that you've been proven right.
You know,
But don't come out and say it, innit? Just be like,
no, but
yeah, we'll just be like, yeah, we'll be there or thereabouts. We'll do what we can.
man.
You don't just come out and say,
But
Nah.
that's what the Harry Redknapps of these world will do. Remember, these guys, they talk it straight. Well, that's what the European
and
managers
he's been
always
straight
do
talking all the
from the
season.
beginning. So,
He's like,
and normally he's responding to a journalist question, isn't he?
yeah,
So he's like, nah, we're not doing that. Don't hype it up. We're not in a title race.
Hmm.
And he's right. He was a bit too right, to be honest. And then Bournemouth and Fulham play tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Oh, sorry, forgot the Liverpool game. Liverpool beat West Ham 2-1. Luis Diaz, after Mo Salah just casually outside of the boot, straight to across the box. When he gets it right, man. Assist to go with his new contract. We'll talk about that in a second. And then Virgil van Dijk
header.
with a nice header.
89.
I mean, it was secondary school marking at that corner. But
atoning
anyway.
for his mistake.
Yeah, true. And then Andy Robertson own goal. However, Van Dijk didn't help him out on that one for West Ham's goal. So yeah, Liverpool maintain their 13-point lead at the top of the Premiership. Clearly a slow march.
Could win the league next week.
They could win the league next week. When do we play you again?
3 weeks.
Yeah.
11th of May.
Yeah.
Anyway, big news this week. Mo Salah has signed his new contract. 2 years. I didn't expect that. I've got mixed feelings about this one, but I'm not a Liverpool fan. As a fan of another Premier League team, I was happy to see him go. Yeah? I've had enough. Get out. I was happy to see the back of him. I've had enough because the numbers he puts up are just an absolute joke. But I don't know, man. You know my thing with these things. You got to replace him at some point. I know you've tried. Diaz hasn't quite done it. Nunes hasn't quite done it.
Chiesa.
Chiesa, he hasn't had a fair crack at it, to be fair. I think next season should be interesting. Is this the right move for Liverpool Football Club? Isaac.
I think corporate-wise, business-wise, it is absolutely the right move to do. I think you don't give him a contract and let a player of his caliber go on a free. It's corporate ineptitude. Playing outright simple. You let him go and don't get anything for him. I think him going on a free is much worse than Trent going on a free.
Really? After everything, I mean, it's not been a one-way street. You've won a Champions League.
He's still a saleable asset.
About to win the second league.
He's still a saleable asset.
Fair enough. So what do you? So
I think you get more. I think you get more for Salah than you do for Trent.
So in a year's time, how much do you think you can sell Trent for?
Because, in a year's time?
Yeah, because that's the next time he's going to sell. You're going to sell him.
Trent.
I mean, it's not Salah. Sorry. In a year's time.
Saudi, 40.
Easy. Very easy. Biggest thing flying in the Arab market.
40?
Yeah, it's recoup, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. Fair. 2-year deal as well?
I reckon we sell him back end of next season.
Yeah. I think Liverpool fans have got to be realistic that we will sell him next summer or he leaves for free in 2 years' time.
Yeah.
Like, there's no
ifs,
yeah, that's it. Like,
because what is he, 32 now?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's 1 out of the 3. Trent's going, isn't he? He's done.
Who?
Trent. He's
Oh
off.
yeah, Trent's.
I know it's not
and
been
I'm
official,
happy for him. I'm happy.
Yeah,
for him.
I think it's a great move.
Anyone, like I saw a video of Paddy Pimblett calling him a lizard. What for? You're an idiot.
It's rubbish.
Like,
Rubbish.
I don't understand that. It's like you're not allowed. You're punished for having some sort of ambition.
Yeah.
Or
from Liverpool, you must play for this club forever. And it's somehow his fault that Liverpool didn't sell him for a fee.
Like, do you know what I mean? You're punished for wanting to go and
I think
play.
it's great for him.
And I'm not saying the best, but you just want to change the scenery.
Yeah.
You're punished for that.
Great move for him. I think it's a great move for the England team as well. Another player playing for a top team in another league would be great. Van Dijk, all the smelling sounds like he's gonna stay.
Yeah, it should be wrapped up and announced next week, they're saying. So
yeah, which makes sense. You don't want 2 announcements in 1 week. Give each player their own shine.
Spotlight,
If I had to pick one, I'd have just kept Van Dijk. If I had to pick one, because that's the base, you know.
Yeah, but I think the only issue with that is this: look, if you're gonna let Mo go on a free, you better have someone ready to go to replace him. Now, ideally, you want someone coming in, like you said. We had Nunes, we have Diaz,
and he hasn't just
Gakpo. Neither one of the 3 have shown any sign that they are a viable replacement. So it also makes letting Mo go, even more noticeable. Well, 20 a season almost. How do you've got no one that's replaced that. So what do you do, right?
But to that end though, that player you need to sign this summer.
100%.
Yeah. I think I said to Isaac over the weekend, like you've got to have your succession plan in place based on them 2 signing. You don't sign them and have no succession plan.
Well, I think
that's just poor all round.
To be fair to you guys, that's what you thought you were doing with Diaz and Nunes, that they were going to contribute a certain amount of goals, blah, blah, blah. So it's almost succession plan part 2. Because even if you're going to buy someone of substantial cost, you got to shift one of them 2. PSR is the real thing.
Yeah.
So I don't think they've been Salah's
not replacement for Salah. I mean, in terms of goal contribution, attacking contribution.
Yeah.
Because you lost Firmino, you lost Mane. So if those 2 were firing, and again, Mane and
essentially they
Firmino
were Mane's replacement.
Yeah.
If those 2 were, even if they were firing at half of that, even if they got 10 and 10 each, or 15 and 15 each, then you'd be like, actually, you know what?
You can afford.
Let's
go
out.
But this is the
risk.
thing. Like, I think, whoever comes in, the expectation that they're going to replicate Mo,
is unrealistic. It's unrealistic.
The succession plan has to be those front 3 are going to give me 15 each,
Yeah,
minimum.
100%.
Like that's got.
That's my point. So my thing is, it's not just about buying one player this summer. It's about buying one player, and then how do we solve the other problems up front?
Yeah.
Because even if one player comes in and he's doing well, you're not getting another Mo Salah, right? It just doesn't happen like that. Lightning doesn't strike twice like that. You're still gonna have the problem that Nunes and Diaz don't give you enough. So it's almost you're probably buying someone this summer and buying someone next summer.
But here's the flip side of the coin to that. how do you know they don't give you? How do you know in the absence of Mo Salah they don't step up and take the reins?
Possibly.
Because we've seen it in other circumstances. I always hark back to this where Henry left and Van Persie and Fabregas had to step up. When Zaha left and Elise and Eze had to step up. There is the possibility that Mo Salah leaves and the formation or the game plan slightly changes, and that allows Gakpo or Harvey Elliott or Chiesa or Diaz to step up. I think
So
Nunes is gone.
I hear what you're saying. I'm basing it just on the chances I've seen them to miss, especially Nunes. That has nothing to do with anyone else on the pitch. They've had enough chances created for them to make a tangible contribution to your attack and return this season.
I would disagree.
And even Nunes.
No, not Nunes. Nunes has had too many chances.
Yeah, so
I'm talking about like Gakpo or Diaz.
I think Gakpo's done well.
I think he's done
Yeah,
well.
Gakpo's done
No,
well.
I'm not saying I'm saying the chances.
Yeah.
I'm saying the way
Diaz
we
and Nunes.
play.
Yeah.
I'm saying the way we
Oh, you're
play.
saying
See,
have more
to
chances.
see
Yeah.
if they can.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, totally.
take start a
We'd have
game
to
without
pass
Mo
Mo
Salah.
first
No,
time.
yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
The team set up for Mo
you know exactly.
for his strength.
Take Mo Salah out the game for one game and let's see how they flow. I'd love to see that for just before the season's end. Just say, right, Mo,
Just
you're
play.
just gonna hold bench for this game,
Mm.
right? Let's see how they do.
Yeah.
I know Mo's not played every single game, and there
No,
have
but
been
he's played
situ-
most of them.
but he's played most of them. And when he's on the pitch, the game plan is where's Mo?
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, and I make you right. I think the difference in the comparisons you made, you saw those players showing that we saw what Fabregas was doing.
Yeah.
So we knew Fabregas could do it. We saw what
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I hear you.
I
hear
think
you.
only Gakpo out of your front three has shown this season. Actually, he's ready to step
No,
up.
I think Diaz has shown.
Yeah, Diaz started well, tailed off a little
Against
bit.
PSG, Diaz was our best player.
Yeah,
I'll be
Jota's injury records
surprised
against him.
If I don't know if he's done enough for Slot to be like. I think if Gakpo didn't get injured, he doesn't get back in the team.
Yeah.
I don't think he gets back in the team.
Yeah.
The way Gakpo was playing,
Yeah,
he
maybe.
doesn't get injured. But yeah, look, for the Prem, it's great. If you're trying to win the league, that was a terrible bit of news, if I'm honest. But hey ho.
You see Ola Aina?
Yeah, he said, He said, oh.
He signed.
He signed. He looked distraught. He was
The
like,
league is finished.
It's true though, 20 and 20.
Well, he could
No.
hit 30 goals, 20 assists this season. Like, that's mental.
He's a joke, mate. Absolute joke.
I wouldn't say it's mental.
It is
No,
in this
50
age.
goal contributions in one season.
What did Ronaldo hit when he was here?
He didn't do that.
Not 50. No.
Cristiano.
Salah broke the record today.
I think
He
it's
got
46.
45.
I think it's 40. I think Ronaldo's 40. Was it 46 or 44?
No, Salah broke the record today.
Yeah.
45.
Oh yeah, so yeah, but I'm saying Ronaldo was it 44?
I don't
No,
know.
it's Salah,
They didn't even got
Henry,
his assist.
Salah, Henry, Haaland, someone, and Salah again.
Crazy. Crazy. Right, Arsenal. Wow. After an, if everyone's been honest, no one expected a 3-0 home win against Real Madrid.
No.
With Mbappe, Bellingham, Vinny, Rodrigo.
All being
Like the names go on and on. Alaba, da. Saka just coming back. No Gabriel. Is it done and dusted?
Yes.
For me, it is.
If
Like,
you survive, if you lot survive that first 20 minutes, because you see what Mbappe did today? When you
Yeah.
posted getting sent off, that was on purpose. That was intentional. He wants that rest. Well rested. He'd be well rested. If you lot survive the onslaught, the first 20, 25 minutes, because you know it's coming.
Newcastle second leg PTSD, I'll be honest.
You know it's coming.
nah.
They're going to come out the blocks 100%
I
flying at
agree.
you. 100%.
You know what it is?
I think if you survive that or you score within that, I think the game
the only
is
reason I'm
done.
doubting whether they survived that is it's the Bernabeu. A lot of our players haven't played there before.
No, it's a high pressure cooker.
It's a high pressure, and I just think back to Bayern Munich last season. I think I said it to you. The team were playing the occasion; they weren't playing the game, right? And Bayern Munich weren't even that great them time,
Yeah.
right? So that's my only worry. But defensively, statistically, us letting 3 goals in the game is very, 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 very low. Probably is low. I don't think we've let in 3 goals in one game
For a while.
for a long time.
Yeah.
For
And
a long
And
you know
Real
what?
Madrid they'll give up chances. That's the
They
thing.
will.
Like,
In order to
Yeah,
attack
they're
you, they
crazy.
will give up
Yeah,
chances.
they are crazy.
And I think too as well. I think Real Madrid arrived at the Emirates with a bit of arrogance.
I agree.
You look at like Jude Bellingham tucking in his shirt and things like that. Like, bro,
Mbappe wearing new boots.
yeah, like, do you know what I mean?
That's not doing that.
No,
Don't do that.
man, it plays into the arrogance.
No, he's
No,
not
that's
going to wear new
normal.
boots. That's his
Get
thing.
out of him, man.
He wears
No,
new
it
boots
plays
all the
into the
time.
arrogance,
Yeah,
though. No, all right, but
I saw what you're
You
saying
can't
in
play
their
a
play.
quarter final in the Champions League in 110s, fam.
come on, man.
It's
Come on. If I'm a
marketing.
defender, but I'm stamping on your
marketing.
kicks,
It's
man.
Bruv, it's marketing.
It's marketing, man.
Nah, I'm not hearing
I
that.
agree with in what I saw in their play sometimes. It's
There was
almost like
arrogance. There was arrogance.
first 10 to 15 minutes, they just thought, yeah, we're going to bump this around.
And
but
you
we'll
lot
be good.
slapped them off the
Yeah,
park.
because they had a couple chances.
They had a
didn't
couple
they?
chances. And
yeah.
Yeah.
Mbappe,
Right.
that chance, there's a chance. Again, I keep seeing it. The ball's on like in the left kind of side. And Mbappe and Vinny are both kind of going through it. He come through and he's tried to go. He's tried to do what the Decore did,
Yeah.
but it was a bit closer.
Oh, is that when Saka done the underhit pass and they broke?
Yeah.
And then Vinny meant to outside foot it.
Yeah.
And got, yeah.
And
But there was a chance before that as well,
Yeah,
where this was
I
also
think
quite
Mbappe
early
as
in the
well.
game.
And he went to-
Mbappe picked up the ball, edge of the box.
yes.
Now, there was a chance to
Just slipping
pass,
Rodrigo.
and he went for the long range
Yeah.
shot,
Yes.
and he just scuffed it back to the
Yes.
keeper.
Yes,
It was like, bro, big man.
Yeah, I know.
What are
I
you
saw
doing?
that and I was shocked. And
But
yeah, no, I agree.
But Real Madrid can't, man. Like, if they make it through, yeah, whatever deal Fiorentino Perez has with the devil, show me the contract. Because you can't get that much good luck
Cameron Wenger's.
in the Champions League.
I tell you what,
Like,
and it's mad because the 3-0 is such a cushion. You know, if we lose 3-1 on Wednesday, we go through.
Yeah.
Is that bad on Tuesday?
Yeah, I
Doesn't
can't
take that.
remember who it was. I think it was Rio said that if Real Madrid go through, they're going to need to score 5.
Yeah, because we're going to score at least one.
Yeah. Which I think will happen.
And who's missing? Because their midfield is all their midfield depleted because Cameron Wenger's suspended. Right?
Yes, because he got sent off.
But everyone else is there.
No, are they all
Everyone's-
back now? Or some of them injured? I thought some of them were
I
injured.
think what
Because
Chimene
Tobias
might
was
be the only
injured.
one that might.
Even
not be
Alaba
there.
playing left back was a bit.
yeah. But he got hooked, didn't he?
Yeah, he got hooked.
Yeah, I think you'll go through.
Yeah, I can't
Like,
see us.
And I know
They
this
can't
can
have
sound
that
mad.
luck again, man.
I don't want Villa next round. I don't
Someone
want,
else said that as well.
bro. What, a European competition semi-final? I don't want to see Unai Emery. You're mad. I'm not interested. I'm not interested. No. I don't care if he's
Yo.
managing Blackpool. I don't want to see Unai Emery
Cup specialist.
semi-final of a European
Yeah.
competition. Don't do it, bruv. Do not do it. He will conjure up something.
Yeah.
The formation he will fix up on that whiteboard.
Yeah.
Long. PSG, and it's a good test. Again, we beat PSG in the season, but you see the
Been
form
different.
PSG was on then.
Yeah.
It's not the form they're on now.
I think PSG will deal with you, like, you know.
No, I
Nah.
think we'll be closer than people think.
Yeah.
I don't think
Because
it. I don't think.
I think they can beat Barca.
Mendes, Nuno against Saka. Let's just highlight the key battles. So Nuno Mendes against Saka.
I'll back Saka against any left back right now.
The mid. Then it comes down to the middle of the park because I can't really see your striker and your right back because Hakimi will.
But
Martinelli.
Hakimi's a liability, I think. His defending is not great.
No, his defense is not great,
He's-
but his
he's the
attack,
modern
he
day
can get
Alves.
he gets forward and he's quick.
Yeah.
So
But
okay,
that's
let's
why he
go.
loves Martinelli. Unfortunately, he loves him for the wrong reasons. His defending will be fantastic. He won't do anything up front though.
Okay, let's go to the midfield. So what? Vitinha.
That's the
I
That's the
think
battle.
that's where the game will be won or lost.
Yo, Vitinha, what's the other guy's name?
João
Neves?
Neves.
João Neves, yeah.
João Neves.
And then
Vitinha, João
Dembele plays in
Neves.
front of him as a 10.
And there's someone else. No,
No,
it's
no.
the Spanish guy, Riaz.
Ruiz.
Fabian Ruiz
Ruiz.
against Declan, Thomas, Partey, and
So I think they can rise from
Odegaard.
his own.
And Odegaard.
Depends what party turns up.
No, the problem with Partey
Your
is
biggest
when
issue
we've
is
got the ball,
Odegaard.
I agree. I think Partey, with the ball, he's not entirely pressure resistant, but he's really good. You see, when the other team is transitioning, God help you, bro. Partey turns like a 4-3-6 bus. It is mad.
Like an 18-wheeler.
Ah,
Aye.
my guy. Have you ever seen a jumbo jet turn in the airport?
Yeah.
Bruv. But the way the form is in now, the way he progresses the ball for us, the passes he's breaking lines with, he's been great, but it's just that. And that team is young, it's quick.
Doué against Julian Timber.
No, Timber holds it. It's a battle. It's a battle. bro.
Yeah, I don't think PSG blow them away. I think it'll be a very good two-legged matchup if that's what it is. But
I think we suffer. The way we suffer is the quality they have up front. They're going to be more clinical up front than we would be.
Dembele against MLS.
MLS can hold.
It will be a learning for him still. It depends what Dembele turns up.
but the thing you're saying, a lot of people said would happen last week, innit? So
With what? With what?
like Real Madrid against
Vinny, Mbappe.
Arsenal. Like
Nah,
I think the matchups were.
No, I think Arsenal would have had a harder game against Atletico. I think this Real Madrid style, as in they're not because Yago Aspas said it just yesterday.
Mm.
The reason why they love playing the big teams, or you want the big teams, because they're gonna come and play football.
Yes.
So a team that wants to come and play football, it's now a game of chess, right? It's us
And
against
also-
you, not the teams that sit back and lock in, i.e. Atletico Madrid. Low block, counter attack.
Yeah. And also
Who
that
cares for
Real
that?
team, collection of lots of talented people, but they've not been a great team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They lost on the
Mbappe,
weekend
I'm
against
sorry, but
Valencia before they
yeah.
played us.
Mbappe coming in messed up the
Yeah, everyone's been saying this. Yeah.
the balance of the team.
And the numbers look good. He scored 30 goals this season, etc. But it's not. If you see
They're
what
not
Hansi
flowing.
Flick's done with Barcelona and made that a team,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That I think that's what's. That's why I'm like, you know what? For Wednesday, I wasn't predicting 3-0, but I wasn't. I thought we would.
It was gonna be tight, like a 2-1.
Maybe we
or-
lose 2-1 or we win 2-1, right?
Yeah.
But if you look at the next one, I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, but I want PSG for various reasons.
Mhm.
Gnabry is one of them. But yeah, let's play. I don't want to play Villa. Let's play PSG. Let's play someone who I think is the favourite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
test yourself.
Right?
And also, you want to win it by beating the best, right?
Exactly. And that's the only way you win it. Right?
Yeah.
And then if we get past them, I fancy us against
Bayern Munich, 100%. Inter, no.
Inter or Barca is very tough.
I would rather
I think
Barca.
Barca.
I'd rather Barca.
What in the final?
I don't know if you want that smoke.
I'd
rather
rather.
I think the defense is. Oh wait,
I'd rather Inter.
hey, you know what? I was just about to say I think the defense is. And then
No, it's not.
Kim and Upamecano
Kubasi.
popped into my brain.
Rather Bayern, bro.
Who would you rather have? Munich.
Yeah, in the
Yeah,
final.
I think you'd rather Munich.
Yeah.
Don't want Harry Kane in Champions League finals.
Bayern, I don't think.
So
Harry
you
Kane-
want to play against Elise?
But I think
I think
we
beat
can
Bayern.
match. I
Yeah, I think you'd be
midfield.
On that side of the draw.
I think we beat Barcelona. Their defense is dead, bruv.
Yamal, Lewandowski, and Rafinha. That's all I need to say.
I
we
hear
could-
that.
we
But
could
their
defend
defense is
against
not
that.
great. Their defense is not great.
But you know what it is?
Lewandowski against Saliba.
Kiwior.
Hey, listen. Honorable mention to him, you know?
You know, he had a good game.
Yeah.
Because it's not easy to not play.
And then come back.
Bruv,
and put that level
he's
of
played.
performance.
Has he played 10 games this season?
Yeah.
think
He had
he has.
one shaky touch in the first 10 minutes.
And
And
then-
after
And
that,
after
you
that-
settled.
And then
Yeah,
you come
so-
into a team which is normally the best or second best defense in the league, and then you're just supposed to just play. No, I don't well like that.
No,
So,
it's not easy.
But
That's-
remember,
easy,
the
bro.
report has always been he just needs playing time, right?
Yeah.
And once he gets playing time, you'll see a different level.
Mm.
He will go up
And
a
he
level.
gets nervous. So fair play to him. Fair play to him. Yeah, but I don't know. Look, it's the final. Let's just get there, right? Let's just get there. I think getting to the semi-final is a progression, but yeah, I'll take.
No, getting to the semi-final for Arsenal is no small feat. And
Yeah, it's not
not
good.
in the disrespect, but
No,
that's-
you're right. You're right.
The history we've had in
definitely-
the Champions
Yeah,
League.
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
since
yeah.
we got to the
It's a-
final, I think the furthest we got to quarterfinals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
and
this
Barcelona,
is-
the
this is
Paris
big.
final was 2006 or something, no?
2006.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right, well, we'll see how it plays out. I'm not nervous or anything. Lastly, I've got a question for you, lot, yeah? I want honest answers. If you had to play a Premier League game next Sunday, how long you
Oh, I
lost
saw
in
this.
kilo?
I saw this.
Can I play in goal?
No. No, you can't play and go.
What position?
Whatever position you want.
I am lost in 3 minutes max,
How long you lost?
and that's. I'm talking about.
Wait, what team you play
I've
for?
not had to make a sprint.
What team you play for? what team you play for? What team you play for?
Liverpool, of course.
Might last a bit longer. At least you don't keep the ball on. Do you know what I mean?
If I'm playing for like Palace or Ipswich or Southampton,
If I've got
2 minutes tops.
1.5 minutes, I reckon. Go on. How long you lost him for?
10.
10 minutes?
Get out
In
of
a Prem game?
Get
guy.
alright, let's just wrap it up here. Let's wrap it up. He's lost in one sprint.
10 minutes.
He's lost
I used to say
in one
that. I remember
sprint.
the first time me and Kerry, I said 10 minutes. Then I watched the Prem game the next week. I said, nah.
You know that sympathy minute you get when the injury ball's gone up and you know time running out, that 1 minute, that's me, man. Like, that's up front.
What prompted my question today? I was watching the Newcastle Man United game, and I was like, but that pitch is massive, you know.
Listen.
I said, whoa, hold on. I don't remember St. James's Park pitch being, and the St. James's Park has a slope as well. And the show talks about it all the time. There's a slope. It's a slight, you can't see it, but when you're playing it, he said, when you play it, you feel it. So you make your mind up. If you win the toss, you decide whether actually, do you want to be playing down it second half or whatever. I think I'm doing 4 minutes, and that's in the team that's got the ball. If it's Leicester City or some of them, you're getting a minute out of me. Max.
Yeah.
But I'm doing 4 minutes, and that's with me hiding.
Cheating. No cheating, lads.
100%, nah.
No cheating.
I'm asking for the ball in a place where I know I'm not getting it. And I'm doing that for 4 minutes. Jogging around.
Nah, it's
one
no,
layer. I'm playing up front as well. I'm playing up front.
Yeah. That's the only place I can play.
I remember playing in a game, pre-season friendly. I can't remember the team. They had their academy players. They had a couple first team players, but most of it was academy. This brother, he sized me up and then kicked it past me. I ran after him and made the tackle. Fair, it was done. I was done.
That's it.
Well,
they pumped that ball back out to him. I just had to get touch tight.
Well, you know, Ash, friend of the pod, that comes in there sometimes, he told me 10 minutes with a straight face. I said, no, on the wing as well. He said he could play for 10 minutes. I said, listen,
It's not happening.
you're not playing with me and the man them, you know, where maybe 5 out of 10 passes come to you. This is Tonali passing the ball. You're getting the ball every time. You're running every time. You might do, I don't know, you might do 8 sprints in that 10 minutes. And he's like, yeah, I'll do 10 minutes. I said, you're bluffing, bro.
Yeah.
You're bluffing.
You got to sprint to get the ball. If you don't get, you got to then sprint back in position.
Bro. If the ball's on the other side, you still need to run to maintain shape. That's the bit everyone always forgets. They always look at the man with the ball. Look at all the other people that are running without the ball.
Right, that
Mercedes
perfect. Perfect. Most of your work is done off the ball.
Long. And you're seeing stats now. Man are running 12 kilometers a game, 11 kilometers a game.
Exactly.
All right, cool.
Go centre mid, you're doing
intervals.
13 kilometers a game.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Literally, if someone came and said, I've got $250,000 for you if you last 10 minutes of Premier League game. I'm like, just keep the money, bro. Just keep the money. I'm not doing it.
And not look out of place as well.
No, that's a different thing.
No, I think
and I'm not talking about
footballing bit.
I'm not talking about like you're gonna stand out and put a Mo Salah performance. I'm talking about we're watching and not everyone's putting a performance where everyone can't go, oh yeah, he's the guy.
Do you remember the guy that lied and said he was George Weah's cousin or something?
Ali Dia. No, not Ali Dia.
He get subbed off. He was that
what's
bad.
his name? What was his name, man?
The Southampton.
You don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
You don't want to be that guy.
I remember that one.
And then you're going to be mentally tired as well because you're going to be like, first touch, come on, John, first touch. Like, don't mess it up. Don't mess it up. Pressure. No.
3 minutes tops. And that's without sprints.
Wow. And it's so funny. I see Mo Gilligan talk about it, like when he does soccer and that. Yeah, everyone talks at home. And when you get there, said, oh, edge of the box is kind of far, innit? You think guys just slapping top mids? It's like, yo, this is kind of far.
Yeah.
This is, listen. That even when you play semi-pro, the pitches aren't that big. They're not like some of the Newcastle, Old Trafford. Listen. Just everyone should just allow it. When you're making he's rubber. Just remember, you're lost in about 2 minutes, 3 minutes in that game.
Right.
Everyone should just humble themselves. Anyway, on that note, as always, please like, share, and subscribe. We got to 100 because of you guys, so thank you for rocking with us.
Yep.
And we will be back next week.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.